Sorry, titles matter to me, so I had to change it. Still be boy that rocks your world. Trouble in the chaos. If you get bored, set your walk away. Thank you for the roses. Or rose. Running in my mind, like the back of my hand. The gold in the rainbow, nothing panned out as I planned. They say only milk and honey's gonna make your soul satisfied. Can't really show off what I'm doing because it's kind of need to set it against something, but I'm clipping my edge down so that I can sew it. Twisted guardrails on a highway, broken glass on the cement. Ghost of someone's tragedy, how recklessly my time has been spent. They say that it's never too late. You don't get any younger. But I learned how to starve the emptiness, feed the hunger. Oh, I'm losing my voice. Hello. I don't think I'm losing it. I think that it's going away simply because I haven't used it very much. Thank you for the likes. Every choice is worth your while. And there's always retrospect. Light a clearer path. Every 5 years or so I look back on my life and I have a good laugh. You start at the top, go full circle round, catch a breeze, take a spin, but ended up where I started again. Makes me wanna stand still. Up on the watershed, standing at the fork in the road. You can stand there and agonize. stand there and agonize till your agony's your heaviest load. You never fly as the crow flies. Get used to a country life. You're learning to face your face. Every choice is worth your while. Up on a watershed, standing at the fork in the road. You stand there and agonize till your agony's your heaviest load. You never fly as the crow flies. Get used to a country life. You're learning to face the path at your pace. Every choice is worth your while. You're learning to face the path at your pace. Every choice is worth your while. Hope everybody's having a good afternoon. And if you're not, I'm sorry. I like this song a lot. It's called Wishman by Trevor Hall. Try that again, Wishman.
Down by the bayou, I saw good things inside you. Good things inside you, they call into my memories of old. Tell me what you know. Well, I saw a man there. I saw a man and sat down. I shook his hand there. I shook his hand, he laughed loud and put a question to my heart. A question oh so sharp.
I really like the way this is turning out.
He said, hey,
Just par for the course for my shit.
what's yours? Close your eyes, all we got is this. Angels speak of a thing called bliss. Close your eyes, all we
Hold on.
got is this.
There we are.
So what to say, love? What to say when that turned? Well, I was overwhelmed. I stood and let my house burn as I saw horses in the sky. Let
So,
me take that ride.
this is a little too delicate for a back stitch. It's not, but it is.
Down there, well, I walked on with thoughts deep. I never knew that love could dig way
So I want to do,
me. I turn and face
this thread is
another chapter
very much
has begun.
tangled up.
Forever one. 'Cause he said, hey, wish man, tell me what's yours.
So, what I'm gonna do, one, let's get a needle, well maybe not.
Close your eyes, all we got is this. Hey, wish man, tell me what's your wish. Close your eyes, all we got is
I think what I'm gonna do is different stitch.
angels speak of a thing called bliss. Close your eyes, all we got is this. I'm straying far away, I get down and start to pray, 'cause I know that my song will reach those heavens. I stand up, I'm not forgetting. I know.
Oh, it's too weak anyway.
'Cause he said,
It's held up.
hey, wish man,
That
tell
sucked.
me what's your wish. Close your eyes, all we got is this. Angels speak of a thing called bliss. Close your eyes, all we got is this. Hey, wish man, tell me what's
What's everybody up to today? Anything interesting?
your eyes, all we got is this. Angels speak of a thing called bliss.
Assume not, since you're all here. This is the interesting thing we're doing. Alright. I'm sorry. There's no shame in that. I'm gonna get a small needle. Oh, I should put this in here. I don't know why I set that down over there. Probably because I wasn't sure if it would fit or not. I'm gonna clear my head. I'm gonna drink the sun. The saddest sight my eyes can see is that big ball of orange sinking slowly down the trees. Sitting in a broken circle while you rest upon my knee. This perfect moment soon be leaving me. Suzanne calls from Boston, the coffee's hot, the corn is high. And that same sun that warms your heart will serve that good a try. With everything it's opposite enough to you can cry. Or keep this whole world spinning with pain to twinkle in its eye. Get out the map and lay your finger anywhere down. The figure into those we pass on our way out of town. Thank you for the follow. Seems to be something ailing everyone. You know, if I can remember how to do the stitch, that would be great. Love is good in you. We're on my cinnamon brooms. Johnny left for South Africa a few years ago. Then Beth took a job all the way over on the West Coast. Me, I'm still trying to live half a life on the road. Look at this. Look at this shit. Come on, man. Thank you. We hurdle ourselves through every inch of time and space. Some corner I can sing, say rest in place. With every lesson learned, a line upon your beautiful face. We'll amuse ourselves someday, when these memories will trace. Get out the map and lay your finger anywhere down. We'll leave the figure into those we pass on our way out of town. Don't drink the water, there seems to be something ailing everyone. I wanna clear my head, I wanna drink that sun. I'm gonna love you good and strong, while our love is good and young. I'm gonna love you good and strong, while our love is good and young. I love these delicate fabrics, but they are a pain in the butt to do anything with. careful. That is the same artist. Why are you not shuffling my music?
Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, then I flew too high. Though my eyes can see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say, carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. Masquerading as a man with a reason. Masquerade is the event of the season. And if I claim to be a wise man, it surely means that I don't
Calm the fuck on. See, this is why I need wax. I don't have any more. This shit wouldn't happen if I did.
tossed about, I'm like a
Ship on the ocean,
I sail cold to winds of
fortune.
but I hear voices say,
Carry on my wayward son.
there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest.
Yeah, because of that stupid knot, it's pulled the damn weaving apart. I hate when that happens.
Now your life's no longer empty. Surely heaven waits for you. Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Hello.
I'm trying
Let me tell you something about my life. Maybe give me insight between black and white. The best thing you've ever done for me is to help me take my life as seriously. It's only life after all. Yeah. Well, darkness has a hunger that's insatiable. And lightness has a call that's hard to hear. I wrap my fear around me like a blanket.
I sail my ship
With safety till I sink it. I'm crawling on your shores.
I went to the doctor. I went to the mountains. I looked to the children. I drank from
In thousands, there's more than one answer to these questions. But I mean a crooked line.
the less I seek my
Oh,
soul.
come on, what is it not?
Closer I am to find. Closer I am to find. And I went to see the doctor of philosophy with a poster of Rasputin and a beer down to his knee. He never did marry or see a big great movie. He graded my performance. He said he could see through me. I spent 4 years prostrate to the
Hey, honey.
got my paper and I was
Oh, this is frustrating. delicate work. I need a beading needle and like a single strand of silk. It's so fine. Pointing me in a crooked line. The less I seek my source for some definitive, closer I am to find, yeah. Closer I am to find. Excuse me. I should do it this way. I stopped by the bar at 3 a.m. to seek solace in a bottle of possibly a friend. I woke up with a headache like my head against the board. Twice as cloudy as I've been the night before, and I went in seeking clarity. I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains. What's everybody doing this afternoon? Any better than earlier? Stand up for the lookout. We have to do it this way. This is how I'm used to. The less I seek my source for some definitive. This is exactly how I'm supposed to be doing it, because I'm an idiot. Closer I am to find. Closer I am to find. Yeah. Okay, so well, everybody want to see me struggle stitch.
Do you hear me? I'm talking to you. Across the water, across the deep blue ocean, under the open sky. Oh my, baby, I'm trying.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Here in my dreams, I feel you whisper across the sea. Keep you with me in my heart. You make it easier when life gets hard. Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again.
What are you doing? Don't know how long it takes waiting for a love like this.
Every time we say goodbye, I wish we had
one more kiss.
I'll wait for you, I promise you I will. Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again. Lucky we're in love in every way. Lucky to have stayed where we have stayed. Lucky to be coming home someday. And so I'm sailing through the sea to an island where we'll meet. You'll hear the music, feel the air. I'll put a flower in your hair. Though the breezes through the trees move so pretty, you're all I see as the world keeps spinning round. You hold me right here, right now. Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been.
This is so delicate. I'm literally in every single line of the lead, or every other at least. As I stab myself in the thumb. out of here. What's everybody doing?
During the time of which I speak, it was hard to turn the other cheek to the pose of insecurity, feeding the cancer of my intellect, the blood of love so neglected.
Oh, this is not working at all. God. It's ridiculous. I think so. I think they all left. Either because of my bad singing or because I'm boring. Oh well. They're lost, not mine. I'm used to it. Either people stay and I'll have like 14 people or 50 people, 50 sometimes at a time, or sometimes everybody will leave and it'll only be one person. Sometimes I have nobody. It's okay though.
Not counting the unmarked paths in this direction, my compass, fading in love's perfection.
I missed a million miles of road I should have seen. You don't have to stay if you don't want to. Like, don't ever. What the fuck? Dude. Freaking wrinkle in my damn. Roll in my damn knee sock is making it hurt. I hate fibromyalgia.
To a slim chance of love's recovery. Being soft and always strong, like silence screaming in a dream. I search for absolute distinction. Not content to bow and bend to the whims of culture, that swim like vultures, eating us away. Eating us away.
Hello.
Eating us
What?
away
Leave me alone.
to extinction.
I don't care. Leave me alone. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, how I wish I were a trinity. So if I
Thank you.
lost a part of me, I'd still have two of the same to live. But nobody gets a lifetime rehearsal. As specks of dust, the universal. So let this love survive, be the greatest gift that we could give.
Oh, boo.
Tell all the friends who think they're so together that these
I'm sewing the edge down on this scarf.
rises always thoughts of farewell.
Well, singing terribly.
Safe in the arms of love's discovery.
How? Oh my fucking god. Are you kidding me right now? If I wanted a knot, I would have put a knot. Ugh. Disgusting.
Used to spend my nights out.
Oh my fucking god. Are you kidding me right now? That stupid knot that I just pulled out. This is starting to piss me off.
But you're rescuing me from reaching for the bottom.
And then I put it in the wrong way. Fuck my life.
Call me back.
Being too far gone. Oh, for heaven's sake.
Oh, rescue.
Tennessee whiskey. You're a sweet strawberry wine. I can't do the runs like he does. You're as warm as a glass brandy.
Honey,
I stay stoned on your love all the time. His runs are magical.
I look for love in all the same old places.
On the bottom of the bottle's always dry.
But
When you pulled out your heart, I didn't waste it.
'cause there's nothing like your love to get me high.
Hey, you're a sweet Tennessee whiskey. You're a sweet strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass brandy. Honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. You did a beautiful job of singing this song. Jensen Ackles sings this song beautifully. Tennessee whiskey. Oh, tongue's trembling. You're a sweet strawberry wine.
You're as warm as a glass brandy. Honey, I stay stoned on your love.
All the time. Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey.
I sit 2 stories above the streets. It's awful quiet, isn't love fell asleep. There's life down the lonely road. Kids are walking home from school. Some long ago we were taught that for whatever kind of puzzle you got, you just stick the right formula. Solution for every fault.
complicated. What you in? Oh, baby. You don't feel good. What's your dad? What's the matter? What? What's the matter? Huh? What's wrong? You not feel good? So close to you. Everything goes to the only truth. I bought you that ring, it seemed a thing to do. It makes me think I can start being stated. The hardest burn was the least complicated. So what makes me start being started? The hardest the least complicated. What, honey? What, baby? What? 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 What do you need, baby? You okay? I said 2 stories above the street. I got you. Okay. You don't feel good? There's light down below me. Excuse me. The kids are walking home from school. I remember the time when I came so close with you. Skipping my class, running from school. And I bought you that ring 'cause I never was cool. What makes me think I could start being slated? The hardest word was least complicated. What makes me think I could start being slated? The hardest word was least complicated. Least complicated. Least complicated. You need affection. Does your baby need some attention? Does the baby need some attention? Poor baby. You feeling okay? Oh, you're gonna be running all over me. Okay. That way. No one wants to see your butt. No. I gotta get back to work, honey. I gotta do stuff. You're very cute, though. Hello, hello. Talking to my cat here for a second. What's the matter, Daddy? Hey, baby. You okay? You're not feeling well. No one needs to see that. Come on. You gonna lay down? What you doing, bud? What you doing? There is no room up here for your big ass. You gonna try anyway, aren't you? Of course you are. Hi. Hello, giant one. So here's with this back down again. Yet another cat is jealous of her station. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Hello. Hi. Your feet are so dirty. Ow, that is skin. No webby in the skin. Gross. What did you do? Why are your feet wet? Huh? You can't stay there. It's good for you. Sir. Sir. Excuse me. You were taking up my whole workstation, buddy. He doesn't care, apparently.
Spilling out like water, like the mountain gave a daughter. Surrender never felt so good. I grew it strong like a sacred wood, and now the roots are running deep. All illusion getting weaker. You see the wisdom, it don't
You're
come
very
from
pretty.
reading. It comes
Yeah,
from
you are. I
believing.
guess that's true.
What I know is that I don't know, and now I dance
He says, I care nothing for your plans. I need love and affection. I demand attention right now, he says.
what I say is that I
Yes, I know.
don't say, and now I
Yes,
rest
you're very, very demanding.
holy name.
Oh my god, dude, what the fuck happened to your mouth? Did you get into a fight with somebody? Were you being naughty? Dude. Hands down, it's Styles. I am Styles, he is me. Like, how he is, that's how I was in high school. Very flaily, very expressive, very hyper-focused. Very much the one with the ideas. Very much the one that's overlooked and ignored most of the time. Very much the one going, I told you so. If you had listened to me 4 hours ago, we wouldn't be in this predicament right now. So that was me. So I very much relate to that kid. Very, very much. Very much relate to him. I definitely would have been the one telling Scott that he was a werewolf. Like, dude, you're a werewolf. Like, I did the research. You're totally a werewolf. Will you not show your butthole to the camera? Jesus Christ. Voyeurs, all of you. Lord. The only difference between me and Styles is that both of my parents are alive, so. But they are divorced. It doesn't count. This is not the same, obviously, but I would never compare the two. But my point is I had an absentee parent, even though they both are living. Although I can say, to date, without question, neither one of my parents has tried to unalive me, so there's that, at least. I feel so sad for him, like... Because at the height of her, at the height of the dementia because of her illness, she tried to throw him off a roof of the hospital. favorite character is Peter. Ian Bohen tried so hard to get a redemption arc for Peter, and I think season 6 is as close as we were ever going to get to getting one. He begged the writers, please give Peter a redemption arc, and they essentially told him to fuck off. Yeah, she had frontal lobe something. I can't remember what it was called, but it's essentially where it's dementia caused by your brain shrinking. I can't remember what they call frontal temporal. Oh, let me look it up. Hold on. Frontotemporal. Oh, it was frontotemporal dementia. So it causes your brain to shrink. So it's not an illness that's caused by other things. Because like most people have dementia because they have other illnesses like Parkinson's, for example. Frontotemporal dementia is actually caused by brain shrinkage, and it's genetic. It's kind of part of the plot of the whole Nogitsune storyline, is because he thought he had it as well. Thank you. The Nogitsune was convincing everybody that he had it. So he's like losing time and losing memories, and so to hide that he had it, the Nogitsune convinced him and everyone around him that that's what was going on, that it hit him at an early age. Because it's kind of, his mom doesn't actually have a birthday in the show, and so it's kind of implied that she was really, really young compared to Noah, and was like in her 20s when they got together, and he's supposed to be like much older than her. Even though the actress that they used was clearly not in her 20s when they actually put a face to her. It was kind of implied though, like she's supposed to be younger. Just like with Derek. Derek was actually supposed to be 19 when he returned. That's why in the first episode when we see Derek, Stiles goes, isn't he only a couple years younger than us? And then in the first episode he was 19, but then when they continued the whole Kate storyline, if they continued down that road, Derek would not have been 16 when the Kate thing happened. He would have been 13. So they aged him up. Not only that, but Tyler Hoechlin had a really hard time looking 19, even though he was actually 23. He was 23, so they aged him up to 23. When he returned, and kind of expanded the length of time of when he had been gone, so that the ages matched up, so he was like 15 or 16 when the whole Paige Kate thing happened instead of 13. Personally, it makes more sense to have him to have been younger, simply because it's heavily implied that werewolves age differently. Later in the show, they imply that they age way different. So I ended it for a while. I wasn't on this whole time, I promise. I was off for a few hours. out on the line. We love so hard that it hurts. He's my pain and paper and card came to me. Who's my least? My least favorite Marie is Scott. I'm sorry. So here's the thing though. And I'm about to get serious. I'm gonna turn my music down. So here's the thing. The show, for the most part, is from Scott's perspective. And we know this because there are hints that Stiles is actually friends with a lot of different people. But because he's supposed to be the center of Scott's world, essentially, we don't see those people except for in the first couple episodes, him interacting with all these different people, like groups of people. Like, when he gets to the party, he talks about Heather, who was his best friend growing up. We don't see her except for that one episode. You know what I'm saying? So it's my belief that he interacts with her when Scott's not around. So Scott doesn't see it, so we don't see it because it's from Scott's perspective. Same thing with the other party goers that he interacts with when he gets to her party. He interacts with at least two other people, I think one or two other people, and they act as if they know Stiles. They don't know Scott at all. So my guess is Scott is actually the one that's not popular. It's not Stiles, it's Scott. But from Scott's perspective, Stiles is annoying, he's irritating, he's distracting, and he can't sit still, he can't focus, and he's the dumb one, you know. And there's instances, like, for example, when Allison shows up and she's interacting with Lydia and her friends over in the corner, he's standing next to like two people, I think 2 or 3 people at his locker. Excuse me. And some of them, one of them makes the comment about it must be painful to be beautiful or something like that, or whatever her comment is. He's interacting with those people like he knows them. They're not passing observers of what he's looking at. They're his friends. We don't know their name. He doesn't interact with them again because Scott doesn't see him interact with those people. Teen Wolf. MTV's Teen Wolf. The series, the TV show. And so everything in that show is happening from Scott's perspective. So we don't see Stiles' as other friends. We don't see how popular he is with other people. He interacts with everyone. He's not that person who just literally walks up to strangers he doesn't know and starts talking to them. The people he's interacting with, that we minutely see him interact with, sprinkled throughout the show that aren't Scott and the main group of people, are his friends. Like, that's his friends. That's his friendship group. Scott just happens to be his best friend, and because the show's from his perspective, we don't see them that often. And so, like, Scott is my least favorite character. I don't hate Scott. I really don't. He's just my least favorite. And I'm really kind of upset about... He really would have. I think Stiles was a human alpha. He was the one that explained to Scott what he was. He's the one that helped Scott gain control. He's the one who outright told Derek, fix this problem. You have a werewolf who knows nothing of what he's doing. Fix this. He did not beg him. He did not ask Derek. He told him. Anytime Peter is in the room, he does not ask him to do things nicely. He tells Peter. He does ask him questions, but his tone is with the assumption that Peter will answer him. Stiles is the alpha. He very much is the alpha. He directs his entire friend group this whole show. The whole show. But because he's just stupid human, they don't treat him like that. They don't treat him like he has any kind of hierarchy. But every time we see him, he's comforting people. He's giving them directions. He's giving them instructions. He's guiding them on how to be what they are. And he should have zero idea how to train werewolves, because he isn't one, and he literally just got dropped into this world by researching it because his friend got bit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he's the one that always has the bright ideas. He's the one that's always telling people, hey, we need to do this, this, and this. You know, he's the one that is often the most betrayed. You know, like when Theo comes into the picture, Scott automatically starts fawning over him. And he's like, oh, I trust him. And you know, and then completely ignoring Styles. He's the group alpha. Exactly. He's the human alpha. And even when he was in a room with actual alphas, he was still giving orders. He was still telling people, hey, what you're doing is wrong. We need to figure out... No, we're talking about Teen Wolf. What you're doing is wrong, and we need to do it a different way. You know, up your game, get your shit together. He's always like that. And, so... I'm kind of upset that they didn't take Jackson's story where they should have, I think. Because Derek wasn't, Derek wasn't an alpha when he hit Jackson with his nails. I don't think. No, he didn't, because Peter was still alive, right? Because it was, Scott was still coming into his powers, and Jackson kept attacking him, going, hey, I want what you're on. And so, he didn't have the ability to share memories with Jackson. Yet Jackson has clear memories of the house being on fire, and you know, all those things that would have implied that Jackson was part of the wolf pack. I actually have a theory that Jackson and Malia are full siblings. I think that the coupling between the Desert Wolf and Peter was an arranged situation from Talia, his sister. And I think that because Jackson didn't end up being a werewolf or a were-coyote, that his memories were wiped and Peter's memories were wiped, which would have put Peter, if I've aged him correctly, the year that's in his paperwork in the show is incorrect. It's a year that they put in there because the werewolves don't actually keep track of how old they are, not the way that we do. So the year, I think it says 1976 or something like that, that's not right. Peter's not that old. I also have another theory of why he looks the way that he does in his flashbacks, and I'll get to that in a second. So, I'm going to set this aside because I really want to talk about this. So here's the thing. I think that Jackson and Malia are full siblings, and I think that the reason why Jackson doesn't look like Malia is because he's taken after Peter, and I think the reason why Peter looks white and Talia does not look white is because Talia and Peter are not full siblings. I think that Talia is a Hale, and I think Peter is half Hale. I think that it's heavily implied that the Hales are matriarch, and I think Peter has a different father. So I think they share the same mother. I don't think they share the same father. Because I've seen Talia. Talia is dark skin, olive complexion, and has dark hair. Peter is not. He's very white. And all of the children that come from Talia are also dark-haired, olive complexion. Peter does not look like he's related to any of them. However, so here's the thing. So, Peter is half Hale. I believe that they share a mother. I don't think that they share a father. I also think that Peter is considerably younger than Talia, because in the beginning of all of the flashbacks between Peter and Derek is in high school. Peter is still young enough to pass for being in high school, so he's maybe in his very, very, very early 20s. He cannot be in his 40s, like the date on his birth certificate implies, or on the hospital paperwork later in the series implies, which I think puts him at 1976, if I remember correctly. 76 or 78, I can't remember exactly what year. I think it's incorrect. I think it was a date that they put on there because they needed to put a date on. So it is my belief that Derek was 13 when the Kate stuff happened. It is also my belief that Peter would have been a very young child when he had Malia, which means he would have been even younger when Jackson was born, because I believe that Malia and Jackson are full siblings. I think they're like a few years apart, 2 or 3, I think. Peter is actually, I want to say, no more than 5 years older than Derek. No more than 5 years older. So 18 or 19, give or take, would be around the same time that Derek was in high school. So he's not in Peter's not in high school anymore, but he's young enough that he can pass for being in high school. My theory for why Peter looks the way he does in some of the flashbacks, where he looks like the Peter that we know, who is actually significantly older than young Peter, the ghost of Peter that haunts Lydia when Peter brings himself back to life, is because that's how Peter sees himself. He doesn't see himself as young Peter in the flashbacks because he doesn't view himself that way. So like in the flashback, or in the in the places where young Peter is haunting Lydia to cast the spell to bring himself back to life, he's like 18 or 19, maybe 20 or 21 at the oldest. That would be because that actor that they used was the same actor they used in the flashbacks when Derek was in high school, when he was supposed to be 14 or 15. There is no way that Peter immediately aged up to looking like modern Peter between that and the fire. Because there's a flashback of him actually in the basement and he looks like modern Peter. And I think that's because that flashback was from Peter's perspective. And that's how Peter looks in his mind. He does not think of himself as young Peter. He thinks of himself as older. Now, a lot of people would think that because he was in a coma that his memories would be locked in with young Peter's face. And I think that because of his trauma, because he does not want to remember how he used to look, I think that he has overlaid his memories with his older face. And so Peter looks older in some of the flashbacks, but not all of them, because the ones where he looks older are from his perspective. They're from his mind. They're his memories, his flashbacks. And so they tried to write off Jackson remembering the fire as implanted memories from an accidental, like when Derek grabbed Jackson's neck and dug his claws into his neck, because they show them doing that later on with Peter. Only alphas have that ability, or former alphas. Derek should not have been able to do that. One, he's never done it before, and two, he could have killed Jackson just doing it all willy-nilly. That's also heavily applied. And so Jackson suddenly having these memories of being, I remember these stairs, I remember something that happened here, and whatever he says while he's in the burnt out shell of the house, they could have taken that to imply that he was one of the children that were stuck in the house and that he somehow got out. They could have taken it so far, and they could have written Jackson as actually having a family. Because here's the thing, Jackson's family died almost the same way that Malia's family died. Excuse me. Now, when we first meet Malia, it is implied that Malia killed her parents. When in actuality, what happened is the Desert Wolf attacked their car, and it caused Malia to transform for the first time, and that's what ran them off the road. Was that double surprise. Jackson's parents also died in a car accident. So it is my belief that Jackson and Malia are full siblings, and both of their parents died, both of their adoptive parents died because of the Desert Wolf. Because of some retaliation thing that she was like, she felt entitled. And so I think that's one of the reasons why Jackson became the Kanema, because he didn't have an identity anymore. It was completely and 100% stolen from him. And it's weird because like the writers also stole his identity from him as well. So it was like double whammy. Like they didn't have to do that. They completely didn't have to do that. I think the Whitmores were his second family. And so I think going back to you know, all those little different theories is that I think the only reason why Scott became the true alpha is because Deaton made him the true alpha. I don't think that he earned it. I think it was given to him. I think Deaton stole the spark from Derek when Derek tried to heal Cora. I think he had the potential to be one. I mean, because he doesn't... How can you become a true alpha if you completely and 100% reject everything about being a wolf except for the perks? He hates being a wolf. He hates everything that comes with it except for the fact that he doesn't have asthma anymore and that he can play lacrosse and that he gets the girl. That's it. He doesn't like the inner stuff. He doesn't like the instincts. He doesn't like... I mean, he takes advantage of all the good things, all the heightened senses, and, you know, being able to smell and hear better. And like I said, not having asthma, being able to heal and run faster and go farther. But he hates having to learn the instinct stuff, having to run and fight and be a part of this world that he's now part of. He resents every second of it. How can you be a true alpha, something that happens out of pure force of will, if you absolutely hate being a wolf? He hates it. In fact, he tries to reverse it by killing Peter. Of course, if he killed Peter, he'd become the alpha anyway. Because one of the lores says that if only a person bitten by their sire can cure the werewolf, the bite, and that's not actually how it works. In this universe, if you're a bitten werewolf and you kill the person that bit you, you become the alpha if they're an alpha, because only alphas can create other werewolves. So he tries to cure himself, even knowing that he would get asthma back, and that he wouldn't, you know, probably be able to play lacrosse anymore, and he probably might lose his girlfriend too. Knowing all of that, he tried to cure himself. Why would someone become a true alpha if they didn't want to be a wolf in the first place? Make it make sense. And then he pushes through a mountain ash barrier, and suddenly he's a true alpha. That doesn't make sense to me. Through sheer force of will, someone who hates every aspect of themselves becomes a stronger version of that? I don't think that makes sense to me. So I think Deaton did some shit, because that man is awfully shady. He never answers questions directly. He never explains Styles and his spark. You know, we only see that explored one time, only because the show is from Scott's, you know, we only ever see this once because the show is from Scott's perspective, and Scott will only ever see Styles as a stupid human. I think Styles has great potential for magic because he made a mountain ash line stretch further than it ever should have because he didn't have enough mountain ash. And so I think they should have explored that more too. He survived. He was the only person in the train station at first who had all of their memories. That takes a lot of magic. Because in season 6, when you get captured by the Wild Hunt and you're in the way station, it's kind of purgatory. It's just waiting for when they're done capturing the city, and then they leave again. Everyone who's there are just kind of mindless drones. You know, first person he asks, "Did you see me come in? How long have you been here?" He doesn't sit there like a stone like all the rest of them, like they're all waiting like you do at a train station where you're just waiting for your turn, for your train to come, and you're just kind of staring off into space. Or, you know, nowadays we'd be on our phones and shit, or people reading their newspapers, and all these people are like dressed in their work clothes and clothes they wore to school and things like that. And No one has any memory of how they got there. Oh, I'm just waiting for my train. And he goes, well, we don't have a train station. Like, he goes through all these things, like, all these logical things. Like, you have to have a powerful mind to fight the Wild Hunt in the show. Like, there's no way about it. And then he was able to wake someone else up. Peter was there, and he got Peter out of that whole mind meld weirdness shit. Because Peter was in there too. He was sitting on the bench just like everybody else, staring at the wall, waiting for the train to come. And Stiles was able to bring him out of it. It took him a minute, but he was still able to because he wanted to. Because it is explained that the spark works from your mind, from your will. Stiles willed that, willed the mountain ash line to continue. He willed Peter to come out of that weird trance. One of the things that he said to, because when they're in the station, another guy has been woken up, and Stiles is one of the people out of him and Peter. He says, I don't think this is going to work. And then it doesn't. The guy ends up disintegrating into nothing. And then they hype each other up, and he wills it for Peter to make it through. And he still shouldn't have, even though he is healing and he's a werewolf, and he probably should have disintegrated too. He willed it to happen. I don't think they would have gotten out there unless Stiles wanted them to. If Stiles had said, this is not going to work, you're going to die, don't do this, you're going to disintegrate just like the other guy, I think Peter would have disintegrated just like the other guy. So I think Stiles had a huge hand in everybody's survival because he willed it. And I think they could have taken that a whole lot of different directions, and they didn't, because, you know, it's all about Scott. Because, like, here's the thing with that spark from Derek is, I think Deaton set up, I think there were a lot of things in motion that Deaton set into place for him to steal the spark from Derek to give it to Scott. So I think that when Derek became vulnerable and used all of his will and all of his inner magic to heal Cora, which should have passed the spark onto her, which would have made her a very strong beta, she ended up just being healed. I think enough, only just enough passed to her to heal her, to push out whatever magic was in her. And I don't think it had anything to do with the Duroc. I think it had everything to do with Deaton. I think Deaton kind of grabbed it out of the air and gave it to Scott. Because there's a moment where Scott is hurting someone while they're being attacked in one of the Hunter's safe houses, one of the office buildings, and he's just going ham on the guy, and his eyes are changing. He's becoming more like Demon Wolf, like Deucalion was, rather than like a normal alpha. But here's the thing, though. If you lose your values... Thanks for hanging out, hun. If you lose your values and you aren't a good person anymore, you lose the true alpha spark. He wasn't losing it, it was changing into something else. I think it was already corrupted to begin with because he didn't earn it. I think it was forced into him. Because all of the other alphas were fighting people and they weren't changing. The only reason why Deucalion changed into the Demon Wolf is because he literally killed his entire pack. That's the only reason why. And then Scott almost kills someone and he already starts to change. His eyes started to go all squirrely like he was turning into a Demon Wolf. That doesn't make sense either. So I think he was working with corrupted magic, something he didn't actually earn, and it was trying to evolve, essentially. I got lots of feelings about that show. In case you didn't know, I have a lot of feelings about that show. So yeah. Me and a friend of mine actually wanted to rewrite that whole show to showcase Styles' spark and to show off a lot of the stuff that, like, a lot of the headcanons that I just talked about. Yes, I have seen that show. I've seen it twice. I thoroughly enjoyed that show. I was a little sad about the ending, though. Kind of killed me. Kind of broke me a little bit. Because I really, really liked, I liked the Gypsy Wolf and the weird vampire dude character. I liked both of them, very much, honestly. And that show was really good. And then, Penny Dreadful was also really good, too. That show took me for a loop. That was wild. Had all the big bads in there. Thinking of combining Hemlock Grove and Teen Wolf? God, that'd be so wild. Could you imagine? Good lord. Because, the Hemlock Grove wolves didn't have alphas. They were just wolves. So, I don't know, that'd be weird. Hold on, I'm checking my notifications really quick in case there's something important going on. Yeah, I like that idea. I hate the idea. I mean, I understand it. I understand because wolves are pack animals, and usually if a wolf is by itself, it's sick. So I understand why they kind of went with that whole mentality, that whole, like, kind of lore. But, like, the first werewolf didn't have anybody, and he ended up dying, you know? He didn't actually have a pack. I mean, he had other wolves, but he didn't have a pack. You know, so it's like, what happened to those wolves? Who became the alpha when he died? A lot of plot holes in that lore for Teen Wolf, honestly. Also, it wasn't Peter that cut Laura in half. It was actually Kate and Gerard. Peter just killed her. He didn't cut her in half. Other hunters did. Yeah. So their wolves are a little different. So like in Teen Wolf, the wolves are kind of treated like a separate personality, kind of like they're a system. for lack of a better way to describe that. But in Hemlock Grove, it's kind of like they're locked inside of the wolf body. Because I do remember that he kind of like rips it and pulls the guy out. That was wild. I'm like, well, why couldn't he do that again? The only thing I hate though is that if you transform into a wolf too many times, you get locked in that body. So that we'd have to do away with. There shouldn't be a limit at all. So they actually kind of have they kind of abide by the rules of the what is it? I forget the series name, but yeah, so if you transform too many times, you have to stay a wolf. So that's the only thing that I don't like about the Hemlock Grove wolves, is that if they turn into a wolf too many times, they stay that way. That kind of broke my heart, you know. What's her name? The dude's mother. That bitch was weird. She was cray cray. She was like, whew. She was out of her bananas. It made a good storyline though, her batshit banana behavior, but like a little over the top. She was entertaining as hell though, like it was hilarious, but like that's a whole level of crazy that I just like, oh man. Like, that was just good grievous lady. Like, I'm glad she unalived at the end. Like, she like a rabid dog that needed to be put down. Her weird infatuation with her son was off-putting though. I was like, are they really going there? Are they really going there? Oh my god, they really went there. Y'all need to stop. But yeah, they did go there, and I'm like, can we not? She, that was a real super, like, whole level of comfort that I would not have with my child at all. I won't even date somebody who shares the same name as my son. Like, it ain't gonna happen. Come on now. Like, I mean, there's comfort and then there's comfort. Alright, let's see where I'm at. This way. can't have my yarn, baby. Yeah, there are lines that should never be crossed, and if you're gonna cross them, don't put them on like mainstream television. Keep it in fan fiction. I mean, to each their own, but holy shit. Good God. I think somebody forgot they were writing for a television show and not writing fan fiction, you know? Because there is no coming back from that shit. Excuse me. So yeah, that was something special for sure. It was a good show. Like, that last season got a little bananas, but it wasn't bad. It was just weird. That whole, yeah, that whole, like, creature salt of the earth thing, was weird. You know, if they didn't kill all of them, that if one got free, it would destroy the planet, kind of thing, and then at the end, one did survive, and you're like, well, okay. And then, the disabled daughter just kind of rides off in the sunset with a baby and some rando dude. Like, what? Like, what was that? Yeah, that was just something else for sure. They're like, oh, we gotta wrap this up. What are we gonna do? Oh, we're just gonna make it weird. It'll stop making sense and people will stop paying attention to the plot. Like, yeah, you got that right. Ow. Oh, fuck. Ow. That really hurt. My damn rib is killing me now. That really hurt. 3 sneezes in a row. Oh, God. Thank you. My rib did not like that very much. It did not feel good. Still healing. I talked to my doctor about it and he told me, yeah, it sounds like what ended up happening is that when it popped, the rib and the cartilage separated slightly. So it's gonna hurt for a while. Thankfully it's nowhere near as painful as it was the first day. Bitten. Is that the one with the female werewolf that wasn't supposed to be a werewolf because they can't make girl werewolves and she just happened to survive the bite? Is that what that one was? Yeah, I liked that one. I liked the actors in that show. They were all Canadian actors. I've seen the guy who played the matriarch or the patriarch, the father. I've seen him in quite a few things. The other female that got bitten that didn't survive, she was actually in the 100. She played one of the characters in the 100. In the one of the people that were in the bunker. I loved that show. I absolutely adored that show. And I wish that they had continued and done more with it, because I think it would have, but I think that a lot of the actors were doing other projects after, when it ended around that time, so they couldn't continue it. Have you seen the show Lost Girl? That show was really good. With the incubus, or the succubus. The one who doesn't choose sides. I want to make a bar after that bar. Like, I want to make that bar. Like that pub. And the ending of that show made me cry. Because I'm sitting here, my poor polyamorous heart at the end of that show was like, you could have chosen both. You could have been with both. Why weren't you with both? Be with both! Be with both! Anyway. Because I would have picked both. That would have been me. I would have been both. You can either be with me or not be with me. But I'm going to pick both. If you haven't seen Lost Girl, I would recommend watching it. It's a good show. Of course, I just spoiled the very, very end of it, but so be forewarned. Like, it's a good choice, but I would have picked both. When you do watch the show, Kenzie's my favorite character. I love her. She's the token human in the show, and I love her. I want to be her when I grow up. She reminds me a lot of Styles. So the actress who plays Mackenzie, the token human in the show, actually has to speak Russian. I believe it's Russian. She actually knows Russian, so she didn't have to learn that for the show. So yeah, I thought that was pretty funny kind of information. But yeah, she just kind of like forces herself not onto the main character, but like, I'm gonna live with you now. We're roommates. We're besties, kind of thing. It's a really good show. Definitely one of those worth binging. It's, it's got its cheesy points, but like a lot of it's like really good. I mean, a show like that's gonna be kind of cheesy, but it's so good though. In their world, everyone who isn't human is considered a fae. So it's just kind of like their word for non-humans who have special abilities. Everyone, you have to pick a side, so everyone's a fae. Which I think is a unique take on that kind of situation. I think at one point Mackenzie actually does ask if there are actual fairies. Because, you know, for us humans, that's what we think of when we hear the word fae, or fairies. So, bless her little heart. But apparently, in the fae world, it's rude to ask them what kind of fae they are. And so when she finally sees what one of them is, yeah, so it's complete. Like, you're not gonna miss anything. Like, it's not it is kind of open-ended, but not in the way that it's a cliffhanger. It just, like, it's open-ended in the way that they could continue the story if they wanted to, but it's unnecessary because it was wrapped up completely. But yeah, so she, throughout the whole show, she doesn't know what one of them is, one of the characters is. And, when she finally, because he, like, he says it's rude to ask if you're not supposed to ask what kind of fae they are, because each one has their own powers. And so, when she finds out what he is, she gets all squealy and excited, and it's really freaking adorable. Because there's hints at what he is, but it doesn't confirm it until they do, and it's really cute. It's, I can't wait for you to watch it. It's so good. Hey, Amber. What's up, girl? We're talking about Lost Girl. A minute ago, I was talking about Teen Wolf. I went on and on and on about my headcanons about the show. It was pretty in depth. Oh, I need to wash my hair. Good grief. Look at that. That's so stringy. I think Mr. Manpants is taking a day off because I haven't seen him on unless I missed him. I just realized what I called him. I just realized what I called him. I seriously just called him Mr. Manpants. I don't know why that was so funny, but it was. Oh my god. Oh man. Yeah, I was like, I was trying to say that I think he's having a break today because I haven't seen him on, unless I missed it, which I don't think I did. But yeah, I called him Mr. Manpants. I don't know why, it just came out. It's funnier than it has any right to be. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh god. He's gonna be like, why are y'all calling me that? And we're just gonna laugh. No reason, just no reason. Oh god. Oh man. so funny, but it's funny. Oh, God. But yeah. I'm glad he secured a place for at least a little while, so he's got that. Yeah, right? I know, right? I'm like, why are you calling me that? No reason. That's just what we call you now. So he's gonna be there, I think he said 2 months. So I was telling Steph, I think what we should do is get things like couch covers so that he can, if he has to rent again, he can still personalize the furniture and still keep it clean. Especially because he's a sleep eater. So I think I really think he needs to get a P.O. box so that he can get mail anywhere he's at instead of having to give out 10 different addresses. I should talk to him about that. I really should talk to him about that and see. Because I think you can only get I don't know what it's like in Florida, but I know in Michigan you can't get a P.O. box without a physical address. I don't know how it is in Florida though. So if that is still the case there, he needs to get one before he loses his permanent address. It really would, you know, because, and it's not because I'm afraid of people showing up at his door. I'm really not. I mean, I am, but not to that extent to where like, oh, you need to get a P.O. box because it's safer. No, it's literally, please get a P.O. box because if your address changes frequently, it'll be much easier to send you things because you only have to remember one address. Excuse me. You know, because he's going to need things. And we want to send him stuff. He gets mad at me every time I send him something. Babe girl, you've done enough. Quit sending me stuff. Quit spending money on me. Because he knows how broke we are. Like, I've talked to him, like, we broke as shit. But it's like, if I have at least $5 to give, I'm going to give you $5. I'm going to give you my last $5. Because you need it more than I do right now. Like, if I donate $5, that's because I've finally gained enough gifts to give the $5 to him. Like, literally. That's where my gift money goes. Anytime I get a gift here, it goes into my PayPal, and then I transfer it to my bank, and then I immediately put it back into my Cash App because my Cash App has a card. PayPal doesn't have a card that's free. So, that's what I do. Because I don't want his Zelle information. Although, I don't know if he even... Well, I think Zelle is only Huntington to Huntington, so I don't want his bank information. I don't want to know where he banks from. So, that's literally where my gifts go, is to him. Is to donating Cash App stuff. I say that like I earn a whole lot, and I don't. Like, it takes me weeks and weeks. Because I'm not very popular and I don't get a whole lot of gifts. And that's okay. Yeah, well, he can suck it up because that man deserves to be loved, cherished, and honored. because he never is. And I don't think, I mean, it's why I run a fucking community outreach. I will give and give. If I have it, I'm gonna give it. What the fuck am I gonna do with $5? Nothing. If I give him $5, you give him $5, and 10 other people give him $5, that's more money than he ever has that he can put towards a place, or put towards buying a new bed, or put towards his car. Like, my $5 will always stay $5. I don't ever earn more than that usually. I barely even get that. So, like, it'll add up for him. It's not going to add up for me like it will for him. It will do more good for him than it will for me. So he can get mad all he wants. It's still going to be me giving him shit because that's what I think he deserves. Yeah. And, like, I don't have a whole lot to give, but, like, I have a guaranteed roof over my head. I have a guaranteed meal. I know where I'm sleeping every single night of the week. You know, my home's life is guaranteed 100%. I am way more secure right now than he is, even though I don't have a penny to my name, except for the 2 that I earned today through live. You know, that's it. You know, so, I mean, and with Airbnb, they can withdraw your rental without paying you back. He could lose everything with no reason. I don't have that problem. I will not have that problem anywhere in the near future. Just like, you worry about you and let me worry about you. Don't worry about me. You know, like, hey, Lady Cree, how you doing, honey? How is your sir doing? I hope all is well in the Lady Cree home. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're just ranting about how selfless he is and how he hates when we spend money on him, and how we don't give a shit because we're going to do it anyway. Because when it comes to spending money on Billy, we're all brats. We don't listen. You can suck it up. Oh, is he? Is playing vampires. That's funny. So, yeah, I was wondering if he was going to take a day off from social media, or if he's going to, like, play his games and stuff. I mean, I do have a kid to take care of, but, like, at the same time, like, I'm secure. You know, Jason's got a roof over his head. He's got food. You know, I don't have to worry about where I'm going to sleep every night, and I don't have to worry about someone walking up to me and taking that away from me. You know? So if I have $5 to spare, I'm going to fucking give him $5. Especially if I know it's going for a good cause. Like, if I knew that he was, like, completely 100% financially set, I'd be like, nah, I think I'll keep that $5 for something else. You know, maybe I'll save it for his birthday or something specific rather than, you know, just a donation or something, you know. But, like, I know that he's struggling. I know that he needs a little bit of help, and I'm okay to help. I can do that. It's the least I can do. You know, it's the least I can do for the community that he's built and the lives that he's changed and the help that he's given us and the friendships that we've been able to build because of him. Like, it's the least I can do. $5 fucking is nothing to me compared to that. I should text him and be like, me and 5 other people are sitting here talking about how much we love you. Well, 3 other people. You know what I mean. In those birds, the ones out in the distance.
Fallen angels and broken souls. We will last past the final round.
Right?
It took a while for you to
Like, he didn't have to pay rent this month, and I'm kind of mad that he was kind of forced into it. Craig's an idiot. They didn't have to pay rent this month. When your landlord tells you that your landlord walks up to you and says, "Hey, I'm breaking your lease. Your lease is up by this date." Guess what? In most states, you do not have to pay rent after that. And then drops the news that he doesn't want him living with him, like, without any kind of warning. Barely any warning. Like, come on, dude. Like, what the fuck is that? I'm so mad on his behalf. Now, if it's like 6 months, you do have to pay rent because then they can force an eviction sooner. But if it's 1 to 2 months, you don't really have to. And more importantly, this last month they didn't have to because it's the last month. What are they going to do? Kick him out? It takes a month to kick someone out. So, you know. They could have saved at least the last month's rent. You would find me, but I was hiding in a lime tree. It was a lot of money. That was, what does he pay? $5,300, I think. It was $5,000 for rent, if I remember correctly. I think collectively they pay that much. I don't think he individually pays that much. If I remember, it's like $5,000. He mentioned it once. I might be wrong, so don't hold that to me. So that was a while ago too. But I think it's what they pay all together, not him individually. That's a lot of money if he pays that individually. Yeah. I don't think they split it evenly. I think they split it according to, oh yeah, like, God, here, I asked Steph what we paid in California for our entire house. And it was 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, giant living room, balcony, huge garage, basement access, and then rooftop access. I think we paid $2,300 in California. Was it? Did she say 2,300 or did she? I think it was 2,300. It was huge, and we had 2 parcels. So we lived on 2 parcels, and we lived in an area where we had our own private beach for the neighborhood. Like, we weren't beachfront. We lived on the top row in the neighborhood, but the neighborhood had its own private beach. So paying that much, like, that's crazy that he paid like twice that in Florida. We lived in California. Like, what the fuck? Excuse me. $600 for 100 acres, and I don't know what our mortgage is. We live on 5 acres, and it's zoned for agriculture. So I have no idea what our mortgage is each month. Which I know mortgage is completely different than rent, but still. Mortgage is more expensive in those areas too, like. Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. I would never have thought, and like California has the most expensive city in the U.S. as far as expenses goes. San Francisco, costs more to live than any other place in at least that was the case when I lived there. San Francisco had the highest cost of living while I lived there. I don't know if that is still the case, but Florida overall, man, holy shit. I used to live in Florida, believe it or not. When I was very young, like young enough where money didn't matter to me, like that's how young I was. I lived there about a year before Hurricane Andrew hit, so that tells you how long ago it was. Michigan's cost of living is pretty high too. Like it's not like super stupid high, but it's not cheap either. It's cheaper than a lot of states though. Made even cheaper by the fact that if we built a bunch of tiny homes on our property, it's not going to raise our taxes, I don't think. If it does, it won't be by much. Because I found out that I lived in Hollywood, actually. Oh, you live in West Virginia. My mom retired to Florida from Virginia. Not West Virginia, but she lived in Virginia. No, did she live in West Virginia? No, she lived in Virginia, so it wasn't West Virginia. My mom and her wife retired to Florida. Well, my mom isn't retired, but Rhonda is. Oh, that's cool. You live in a co-op or something? Or I guess like the equivalent of a co-op or something? I don't know. How does it work there for you? I have no idea. So in general it's just cheap living there. I have a friend who lives in Germany, and she said it was like night and day compared to like the costs of living depending on the city. She lives in, I don't want to say the name because I don't want to butcher it, but it starts with an L. L-I-P, I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce any of those names and words and stuff. Was it L-E-P-Z? L-E, let me look it up. I'll spell it for you and you can figure it out. I know Austria and Germany are not the same place. I know that. But you would have a better time pronouncing words than I would, so. Let's see. Yes, that is the place. That's exactly the place she lives. I was close. I was like, because I've only seen her type it out a couple times. So it's like L-E-I... Oh, it is L-E-I-P-Z-I-G. Okay. I kept missing letters, but I mean, yeah, you got what I meant. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that, and I've never heard her say it, so I have no idea how to say it, but yeah, that's where she lives. I'm one of those people that has to hear a word being said first if I don't know how to pronounce it in order for me to feel comfortable saying it. So it's just like, I'm not gonna butcher that. But yeah, she said that living, even though it's considered like in the city where she lives, it's way different than living in the States as far as costs go. Much, much cheaper. And like getting from like far away locations is so much cheaper too. Especially since you can like take the train to literally anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, when she moved, I think she moved from like one end of the city to the other. Her cost of living went down. Because she went from like living like above a shop to living in an actual like condo kind of thing. well, I guess like the equivalent of a condo. It was like an apartment kind of thing. And like her cost of living went down after she moved. She lived in town versus not living directly in town. Yeah, a lot of towns in Michigan don't have public transport. There's public transport in the city itself. Like where I lived in Algonac, there was maybe a few places that you could get to from the bus, but like there were no stops where I lived. Like I would not have been able to take the bus at all because I could not get to it. Because the road that we lived on was not paved and it was dangerous for me to go down by myself. And then I had to find a bus stop that was nowhere near my house, so it was not accessible at all. That's crazy. That's wild to me. Because everybody's like, oh, you should get a job. Like, how the fuck am I gonna get there? We don't have a car. Oh, take the bus. What bus? Alright, hon, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you later. Like, they thought they were really saying something by go, oh, take the bus, you know, or walk, and it's like, I'm disabled. The only way I'm getting somewhere is if I use my wheelchair, and by the time I get there, everywhere will be closed. I'd have to start at 2 a.m. And I'm disabled. Like, how am I supposed to get to where I'm supposed to go and then work on top of that? My road is dangerous for me to wheel down. Like, it's not paved. And there's holes deep enough to go up to my knees while in my wheelchair. Be reasonable. And there was no Uber. There's no Uber or Lyft in that town. There is here, and it's kind of limited, but like the town that I moved from California to Michigan to did not have Uber or Lyft. I literally would have had to walk, and I'm incapable of walking long distances. I'm a fall risk. I would have fallen in the middle of our road and would not have been able to get up till someone came and rescued me. Mr. Manpants. It's so stupid, but it's hilarious. It's funnier and more entertaining than saying our friend or using his name. If he's liking comments, if he's getting on today, he may get on after he likes comments. He tends to do that. Either that or he's liking comments while he's going potty, because I'm sure he does that too, because everybody in the world does that. So. Yeah, he liked your video. Oh, there he goes. He liked one of my comments. So either he's sitting on the potty or he's gonna go live soon. I hope he goes live soon. Mr. Manpants. It's so funny. Like, it's so stupidly funny. Like, why? Why? Your video, it says the video that mentioned you. The one that has a bunch of text over your forehead. Let me see. The one that's to all the amazing people I've met through TikTok, thank you. You've all brought me out of darkness and I love you all. That video. I think he liked that a while back though. I don't know, it doesn't tell me times because it groups them together when I refresh, so I have no idea how long ago he liked that video. He liked a comment of mine just now on one of his videos. So So like I have my TikTok open on my other account on my phone, see if he goes live. It's like the things that we assume about people. I assume he, like, when he does his likes, like early in the morning, I assume it's like early morning potty break from waking up. Like it's part of his morning routine. I mean, it'd be part of mine. That's what I would do. I mean, that's what I do, so. But I just assume other people do that too. I know, right? It'd be nice if he goes live today. It'd be very appreciated. I know that he's got a lot on his mind, though. So yeah, let's hope. I would really like for him to go live, but he's live. Like, it's like, yes, I know, I could talk to him anytime I want, but like, there's just something about lives, you know? They just, for him, they just got a different energy. Excuse me. Alright, honey. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I will see you later, hopefully. Maybe during his live or whatever. I love you. Take care. Be safe. Don't get too cold. She's one of those people, this isn't a shit talk and it's not because I'm waiting for her to leave. She's one of those people that sits and watches me and doesn't talk much unless there's like a huge like conversation. Like earlier we talked about Teen Wolf. She's quiet for a while. We talked about Teen Wolf for a good 45 minutes while I went off on my headcanons. Who sits and like watches me do what I do and like listens to me sing and stuff. There's quite a few people who do that, which I'm okay with. Like I love lurkers. They give me life. Because that means people like me enough to stick around even if they don't interact, and that's okay. Like, I don't mind people not talking. Wow. Do this. The drawback to having semi-warm days in between the cold days is that for some reason fruit flies decide they want to spawn out of nowhere. And when you run an animal sanctuary that has heaters that have to run into your house from windows, and those windows don't get sealed up all the way properly sometimes, or maybe the tape that is sealing them up gets damaged, those little suckers make their way into your fucking house and like appear out of nowhere. You don't even find their babies, it's just whole fruit flies out of nowhere, out of nothingness. I don't know where they come from. They're just there. So I have a fucking bug zapper, so that's what you're hearing going off. And it's like, it's not even because my house is dirty, they just fucking appear out of literally nowhere. Nothing. It's like suddenly the house is clean and empty and no bugs, no fruit flies, no nothing, and then suddenly fruit flies. Out of nowhere. No babies, just flies. And they're itty bitty too, they're so annoying and stupid. And I don't know where they come from. I think the fairies spawn them, to be honest. Because they're brats. Because sometimes the fairies are assholes. Don't give me that shit, you are assholes, because you be stealing my shit and you be hiding my things. I don't want the fruit flies, you take them back. You can have them, I don't want them. Don't mind me, I'm just ranting at the air.
If there's a hole in your soul, you gotta fill it. If your cup is overflowing, don't spill it. You better hold it while the whole world's spinning around. And when your eyes look down on the
I'm gonna change this to my singing service.
ease your own brother, this kind of love ain't gonna go under. That when you love one another, only good rain comes down. And if you feel like you stop learning, if the wood in your fire
Why not? I'm trying to tell you something about my life. Maybe give me insight between black and white. The best thing you've ever done for me is to help me take my life as seriously. It's only life after all. Yeah. When the darkness has a hunger that's insatiable, like this has a call that's hard to hear, I wrap my fear around me like a blanket. I'll sail my ship of safety till I sink it. I'm crawling on your shores. I went to the mountains. There's more than one answer to these questions. I actually sung this song a lot today. Let me something else. She's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. And I should scream, I'm on my mind. Oh, she's hot but a psycho, so left but she's right though. And I should scream, I'm on my mind. Make you curse, see you blessing. In a second, coming back for second. With your play, you just can't help it. You'll play along, let it lead you on. If you say no, then saying yes, yes, yes. Cause she messing with your head. Oh, she's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. And now she's screaming, I'm on my mind. Oh, she's hot but a psycho, left but she's right, oh. Huzzah. crazy, wasn't the tasty. You say run, don't walk away. Little bit psycho, next you scream, I'm out of my mind. No poison, no emotion. Oh, she's super psycho, a little bit psycho, and night she scream, I'm out of my mind. Oh, she's super psycho, so left but she's right though, and night she scream, I'm out of my mind. Yeah, sure. It's on. I keep it on. Run, don't walk away. A little bit psycho, and night she scream, I'm out of my mind. Let me see if it'll let me. Nope. Let me turn it off. Oh, she's a psycho. Now you can receive this request. Okay. Somebody's psycho, so left but she's right though, and now she scream, I'm out of my mind. I'm crazy, she's fucking the tasty. People say run, don't walk away. You're the psycho. I'm out of my mind. That's wild. I think, I don't know, maybe it's a new thing. Maybe you have to have a certain amount of likes as well. I don't know.
You left your light on. You know I'm here. The night is thin. I know you're alone. I watched the car leave. Your lover is gone.
Yeah, I don't know. Open your back door. I just need to touch you once more. Oh, oh, I wanna come over. To hell with the consequence. You told me you loved me. That's all I believe. I wanna come over. It's a need I can't explain. To see you again. I wanna come over. Let me see. No, it doesn't say. Add up to 2 guests. Add host. Friends who go live. Okay, so I can't add a host because you're not a host. Allow co-host invites, receive insights. Yeah, okay. Yeah, oh, that's weird. Open your back door. I just need to touch you once more. Oh, oh, I wanna come over. To hell with the consequence. You told me you loved me. That's all I believe. I wanna come over. It's a need I can't explain. see if I can find the information on it. Let me see. Hold on, I'm finding information now. Hold on, let me see. Let me. I wanna go to however consequence. Okay, that's not what I wanted to find out. To be a guest on what?
Now that she's back in the atmosphere, with drops of Jupiter in her head. She acts like summer and walks like rain. Reminds me that there's a time to change. Since the return of a stay on the moon, she listens like spring and she talks like June. Tell me, did you sail across the sun? Did you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights are fading and that heaven is overrated? Tell me, did you come from a shooting star? One without a permanent scar, and then you missed me while you were
Interesting. I don't know. Well, let me see. See if this will tell me. Hold on a second. See what this is. Okay. It's a limited feature that is not available to everyone. She just happened to be one of the ones that was available to. Apparently it's not available to everyone in the US for people under 1,000 users. So, unfortunately, so that sucks. So that's dumb.
Wish I told her how I felt. Maybe she'd be here right now. But instead, I pretended I'm glad you went away. These four walls closing more every day. Now I'm dying inside. And nobody knows it but me. Like a clown, I put on a show.
Well, that was uncalled for. I will.
Why
Didn't I say the things I needed to say? How could I let my angel get away? My world is just tumbling down. And I can say it so clear, but you're nowhere around. Nights are lonely, the days are so sad. I just keep thinking about the love that we had, and I'm missing you. Nobody knows it but me. You're a smile that I'm broken in two. And I'm nobody if I saw one like you. I'm trembling inside, and nobody knows it but me. Right awake, it's 3:15. I'm dreaming at night if I thought you'd hear me. And my heart is calling you, and nobody knows but me. How blue can I get? You can ask my heart. Like a jigsaw puzzle, it's been torn all apart. A million words couldn't say just how I feel. A million years from now, you know I'll be loving you still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm so sad. Whoa, calm down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody knows it but me. No, you don't need to be in that window. No. No. No, Miss Bear Pants. Tomorrow morning, I'ma hit the dusty road. Gonna find you wherever you might go. I'ma hold my heart and hope it come back to me. Sad when the nights are lonely, days are so sad. Just keep thinking about it. Your eyes turn orange. You're so pretty. Nobody knows it but me. where she wants to go.
Yeah, you get mad at me. You're mad at mama. I know you don't.
Let's see. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Uh-oh. That's not right. There are supposed to be 11 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. I was about to get upset. And tell me we belong together. Dress it up with trappings of love. I'll be captivated. I'll hang from your lips instead of the gallows of heartache that hangs from above. Your crying shoulder, I'll be love suicide. Rude. I did not close that like that. You better stop. Rude. Better when I'm older. I'll be the greatest man of your life. Rainbows angry on the tin roof as we lie awake in my bed. You're my survival, you're my living proof. My love is alive and not dead. And tell me that we belong together. Dress it up with trappings of love. I'll be captivated. I'll hang from your lips instead of the gallows of heartache that hang from above. And I'll be your crying shoulder. I'll be love suicide. And I'll be, and when I'm older, I'll be the greatest fan of your life. And I dropped out, I burned up, I fought my way back from the dead. I tuned in, I turned on, remember the thing that you said. Oh, almost. I'll be your crying shoulder. I'll be love suicide. And I'll be better when I'm older. I'll be the greatest fan of your love. Your crying shoulder. I'll be love suicide. And I'll be better when I'm older. I'll be the greatest fan of your life. Maybe I should do the greatest fan of your life. Trial and error, trial and error. Boo-boo. Let's see. Really? Really? Come on now.
Three little birds sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry. Summer came like cinnamon, so sweet. Little bells double dutch on the concrete. Maybe sometimes we got it wrong, but it's alright. The more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. Don't you hesitate. Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You know I can't let your head down. Stop firing faded dreams. I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your head down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Blue as the sky, sunburned and lonely. Sipping tea in a bar by the roadside. Just relax. Don't you let those other boys fool you. Gotta love that afro hairdo. Maybe sometimes we feel afraid, but it's alright. The more you stay the same, the more they seem to change. Don't you think it's strange? Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your head down. Stop firing faded dreams. I hope you get your dreams.
Excuse me, my goodness.
Just go ahead, let your head down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Draws them all that I can take. Pity for pity's sake. Some nights kept me awake. I thought that I was stronger. When you gonna realize that you don't even have to try any longer. Do what you want to. Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your head down.
Damn. People sending universes left and right. It just blows my mind that there are people in the world that can do that. That's all. I'm not envious. It's just a wild concept to me. Find yourself somewhere, somehow.
She sits alone by a lamppost, trying to find a thought that's escaping her. She said
There's the one I love the most.
it's life's not far behind. She never left me here. Always tells me where she's been. When she's had too much to drink. I said that I don't care. I just rub my hands.
You were down here, when I got here, and I fly away. And that's when I cry. And the tears fall down like rain. Easy's all I hear. Hello. Had a beer and felt sorry for myself and then let her cry. Tears fall down like rain. Let her see. How are you doing this afternoon? Late afternoon? I have several going at once in case I get bored or I need a break from one. Because sometimes, like the shirt one, has like a lot of brain stuff going on. Because it's very small pieces right now. And I'm like avoiding it. And I keep wearing this shawl and it's not finished yet because I don't have anything else to wear for winter because I don't like winter things. So I'm like, I should probably finish this. I keep putting it off. Oh yeah. Yeah, earlier I was sewing. That's why my title is probably still says sewing. But it's very delicate work, and I realized it really wasn't a good idea to do on live because I wouldn't be paying a whole lot of attention to chat. So instead of ending the live and changing the title, I just decided to keep going. Because I started talking about Teen Wolf and got distracted. She was the same girl I fell in love with long ago. Moving back to get high, I sat down on my couch and cried. Oh Lord, please help me. Oh, my head and let her cry. And tears fall down like rain. Let her sing. It is all okay. Let her go. Walk right out on me. And if the sun comes up tomorrow, let her be. Let her cry. Let the tears fall down like rain. If it eases all her pain, let her go. Let her walk right out on me. And if the sun comes up tomorrow, let her be. Oh, let her be. Hootie and the Blowfish are actually from my home state.
Do you ever feel like a misfit? Everything inside you is dark and twisted. Oh, but it's okay to be different. 'Cause baby, so am I. So am I, so am I, so am I. Can you hear the whispers all across the room?
can be the queen, gotta keep on guessing. So baby, come pass me a light. We're gonna live them on fire. We're the sinners and the blessings. I can see it, I know what you're feeling. So let me tell you about my little secret. I'm a little crazy underneath this, underneath this. Do you feel like I missed it? Everything inside you is dark and twisted. Oh, it's okay to be different, 'cause baby, so am I. You don't feel like an outcast. You don't have to fit into the format. Oh, it's okay to be different, 'cause baby, so am I.
Unplugging.
That was weird. So free. So come and join me and call me Harley, and we'll make a scene. Everything inside you is dark and twisted. It's okay to be different, 'cause baby, so am Come to my window, crawl inside, wait by the light of the moon. Come to my window, I'll be home soon. I will dial the numbers just to listen to your breath. And I will stand inside my hell and hold the hand of death. You don't know how far I go to ease this precious sleep. You don't know how much I give, so much I can take just to reach you. Just to reach you. Oh, to reach you. Come to my window. Go inside, wait by the light of the moon. Come to my window, I'll be home soon. My eyes open, I cannot afford to see. Giving away promises I know that I can't keep. Nothing fills the blackness that has seeped into my chest. I need you in my blood, I am forsaking all the rest. Just to reach you, just to reach you, oh, to reach you. Come to my window, crawl inside, wait by the light of the moon. Come to my window, I'll be home soon. I don't care what they think. I don't care. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys later.